one of the most amazing days I've had on this project. And, like I said, we've sort of been chipping away at this since 2005. And we, through a Alabama Historical Commission grant, we were able to get the exterior of the building painted, which was just an amazing improvement in the community in general. We've got, an entire street that circles this building of houses that face the schoolhouse. And the schoolhouse, the windows were boarded up, the paint was peeling. It was basically, had the look of an abandoned building. And here we finally got this building painted back to its, beautiful white colors. And I came in one day to deliver a stack of glass that I had cut for the contractor, and he had removed the plywood from these beautiful arched windows. And it was the first time that I'd ever seen that lit up. And it was pretty incredible. So yeah, my wife and I met in Atlanta. We had a small child at the time, and we decided to move back to her family home in Sheffield. So she really spearheaded the whole project from the get-go. I don't know if we even were unpacked when she was sort of grabbed by another neighbor, Miss Ida Young. Ida Young also grew up in the neighborhood. She was probably, a good 20 years older than us. And she had been trying to figure out a way to save this building, didn't really know how to do it, so she kind of grabbed my wife and had a meeting.
Unfortunately, she's passed away, but Ida Young. Because, then I'm gonna start crying. She was a good friend. The neighborhood, it's her home, and she did a lot. I did walk to school. We lived about a block away, and, even though Mom stayed home back then, we still all walked, and it was a group of us, and we walked together. I think I even walked first grade. I have a lot of memories of the school. First grade, in Miss DeFore's class with the sandbox in the middle of the classroom and playing in it. But I will say this, Miss DeFore didn't like me very much because I talked too much. A lot of the windows had been broken out intentionally. Fortunately, the Alabama Historical Commission, they had monies for grants that could help anything that was damaged, a historical structure that was on the National Register, like this is, because it's part of the neighborhood, which the whole neighborhood was put on the register, I believe, in '85. There was money for repairs. So I wrote the grant for that, and that fixed the windows.
So we basically just did what we could to mitigate the damage. We put kiddie pools out in the hallways to try to capture rainwater that was pouring in and save as much of the hardwood floors that we could. The roof. The roof was the most pressing need, as with any project like this. It is a 100-year-old terracotta Spanish-style Ludovici roof that has had all manner of sins done to it as repairs throughout its life as a school. We did get one of the major holes in the roof fixed. A local contractor basically did it at cost. We had raised some money in the community, just basically private donors donated enough money to get that massive hole fixed. And this is a massive hole. This is, you look up and you see blue sky. So yeah, you fix the roof, and then you can fix the plaster, and then you can start fixing the floor, and it kind of starts from the top and works its way down.
I was using his acumen from a building standpoint. He knows the materials, you know, and he enjoys doing the work, which was good. So I can't tell you how many countless hours were put in even before the advent of the foundation, because we're just doing it because we wanted to do it.
One of the truly amazing things about this building is the untouched woodwork. I know it's sort of faded and well worn, but the fact that nobody in the school system throughout its lifetime ever decided to paint over this woodwork. So at times the fact that it was abandoned, you know, was a detriment to the building, but it was also probably one of its greatest salvations in that all of this architecture was left untouched. The ceiling was never dropped. The rooms were never remodeled. We still have, you know, a good bit of the antique plumbing fixtures like I spoke about before. The state of preservation of this building is really incredible.
In terms of its architectural significance, the village itself and the school are of national significance to our story here in the Shoals, but you know, across the country for the story of the nitrate facilities in World War I. So there's a nationally significant story here, and hopefully we're going to be able to elevate the National Register nomination.
Providing a foundation was the creation of the Village School Foundation. The Muscle Shoals National Heritage Area held a community, well, I would say a community meeting. It was a meeting to discuss, you know, things that could be done. It was actually held over at UNA.
At that point, I don't think the village had had a grant yet from the Historical Commission, but there had been conversations about the preservation of the school with them, and they were very interested in the building. The National Register coordinator at that time was Coyer Neely, and he and Mary Shell, who was with the Historical Commission at the time as well, helped to facilitate that.
We couldn't have done this without Mary Shell. We really couldn't have, because they were really supportive with a lot of the grants.
One of the reasons why we formed the partnership with the Village School Foundation was to help facilitate part of the space becoming an interpretive center for the heritage area. So just sharing the river's story, whether it's a set of panels in the sort of main hallway, or perhaps a room that's really telling the story of the river. So that's something that I would really like to see, and I think it would be a draw for people in the community to come learn about that history. And again, the story of the construction of the facilities, the nitrate facilities, and this community are so tied to major shifts in the river's history and evolution, and how we use the river. So I think it would be a perfect location to really tell that story.
We have a memorandum of understanding with the City of Sheffield. The Village School Foundation writes grants on behalf of the City of Sheffield. I think the city has a much more positive outlook on preserving some of their historic architecture. I think they understand once it's gone for good.
I also just love the idea of space being available for yoga classes. I mean, what an amazing, amazing place to come in and do dancing. You know, so some place that can be really activated for the community. You know, there's so much light in here, and it's such a beautiful environment that I really think that you know, people would really enjoy participating in activities here.
The auditorium is a wonderful spot for events, and that is our long-term goal, is to make this a self-sustaining community center, multi-use building where we can do fun projects like that and hopefully generate enough income to continue the restoration of the building and to just do general maintenance and repair along the way.